Good evening, guys. Good evening, good evening, good evening. What time is it even? 7:30, 7:20. Sim with Jim, what's up, man? Just woke up. I was having the weirdest dream, man. I just woke up. Just ended your night, Ross. Nice. Johnson's Logic, did you bust out that whole drive? Was it 330 miles or something? Oh, man. Just woke up. Although I was up earlier today. We went out into town. We made the mistake of going to Hobby Lobby on a Saturday a couple weeks before Christmas. Never, ever again. Nice. Sim with Jen, leave in the morning for Tampa. 34 hours at home isn't enough. Man, let me tell you something. We're leaving home in like 34 hours. We've been home we went home for a week. So, and that's not enough. What's for Christmas? I'll tell you in a minute. What's up, Donald Davis? I'll tell you in a minute. Hopper, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. Hopper, you're doing some night driving, huh? Getting some night driving locked down. So anyway, yeah, I did wake up for a couple hours today because we went and ran some errands. I went and had a sit-down meal at a Mexican joint in Springfield, and we went to Hobby Lobby, which was, if anybody says the U.S. economy is dead, just tell them to go into a Hobby Lobby on a Saturday a few weeks before Christmas. Holy crap. I had so much anxiety in that place. It was like there was no social distancing in a Hobby Lobby on a Saturday a few weeks before Christmas. Jeff R., what's up? Mike Schwartz. So, but I went back to sleep because I told you guys the other night, I'm trying really hard to stick with my schedule of sleeping during the day while I'm home and staying up all night. And I've been able to do okay with it so far. Because usually the last couple times that I've been home, I've slept all night, stayed up all day, and then when we hit the road, I'm completely screwed. Messes me up for like 2 or 3 days when we get on the road. Which I said 34 hours, we're probably not leaving until Tuesday morning. Today's Saturday, so we have a little more than 34 hours, but man, it's been good to be home this week. And it's hard knowing that we're not coming back home until like January 8th. All I want for Christmas is a decent load to sell. Hey, Ross, I have a question for you. So I ran last Christmas. We ran through the holidays. Jenna was in TNT. We ran through the holidays. So we were available for dispatch. We got the bonus. But I don't remember, does that mean that we can't reject loads? Or can you still reject the load and still be available? Because I don't know if I can go a month without rejecting a load. I was thinking about that today, and I'm like, oh my God, man, I may have to forfeit a bonus if I'm forced to dispatch for a month. I didn't think about that last month. Anyway, so yeah, titled, that's true. We didn't reject anything last year. She's in the other room keeping the dogs at bay. Remy likes to go wild. Okay, so you don't know yeah, because we didn't reject any loads last year, so I don't know. I don't know if they consider you not available for dispatch if you reject a load. Yeah, Remy is a psycho. So I need to find out. I need to find out if I have to go a whole month forced dispatch to get a little bit of a bonus. I may not get that bonus. So anyway, so you were forced dispatch anyway. As the title of this video suggests, I just told Jenna when I got out of bed that we get the ultimate Prime Ink Christmas present, because here in about a week and a half, we're placing the order for our new truck. We're buying our new truck. So talk about the ultimate Christmas present for each other. Well, I mean, her birthday is, oh man, she's gonna get so peeved at me. I'll just say it. See, she's gonna be so pissed. Her birthday is either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I can never remember which one it is. She's gonna be pissed, you guys. No, I don't. I don't even remember. I don't even know. I don't remember how old I am. Okay, Truck with Me says you can still reject loads because you will still be available for another one. Okay, so you can reject a load New Year's Eve. Okay, there we go. You can reject a load, but you just have to be available for dispatch immediately after that. Well, shit, man, I may be rejecting a lot of loads then, because usually if there's just consecutive shit loads, then we'll just change our PTA, but you can't do that during that period. Yes, New Year's Eve. There's another man in chat who knows my other half's birthday better than I do. New Year's Eve, yeah. I don't know. I just get confused. I don't even remember how old I am. I seriously don't. I'm terrible with dates. But anyway, her birthday is New Year's Eve, so we'll be on the truck. Last year we were at like a little mushroom place, or we were delivering mushrooms to a little place in Detroit on New Year's Eve, I believe. And then we were out at the Walmart in Colton, California on Christmas Eve. So we don't really get a whole lot of celebrating Christmas while on the road. That's why we set up this little tree. I've been doing videos in front of the tree because this is about as close to like having a Christmas vibe around us that we're going to get this whole time. So I'm trying to soak it up, trying to get the feels. So yeah, we're getting ready to buy our truck. It's pretty amazing. I know there's a lot of drivers out there who already have their truck, already in the process buying their truck. So it's probably not as big a deal for them. For us, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal to buy a truck. It's a huge thing. Yeah, we even have a scented candle up there. So, so we're buying this. We're ordering the same truck, and I was able to get confirmation that by the time we get that truck, it should be a 2022 Peterbilt Ultra Loft. So we're in the same truck, same color, with a few extras. We're not getting all crazy with the seats. The seat options they have are not that great. I mean, and the upgrade options are so expensive that, I mean, like leather seats, we don't really want or need leather seats because we keep seat covers on our seats, like really, really thick, really nice ones. So I don't want to pay $1,000 more for leather seats in both seats. Plus, we've seen really nice seats at places like Iowa 80 Truck Stop, places like that. So we know that we'll be able to upgrade the seats later down the road because we're buying the truck. So we can do things like that down the road. Are we buying a brand new truck, or are you lease purchasing? Yes, we're lease purchasing the truck through Prime. So here in a couple weeks, we'll have to pay. We'll have to make a deposit, and we'll have to pay for all the extras we're doing. The money that Prime sets aside when you're on lease for that lease company, do you get that money? No, you don't get that money when you do a lease purchase. You get the truck. You get the truck. Yeah, you get the truck, and you don't have to pay into that lease purchase or lease completion incentive program. So getting the trucks, that's a hell of a bonus to me. So anyway, in the extras that we're doing, kind of limiting those down. I'm changed my mind on headlights because Lyle from No Hippie Trucking and Transportation reminded me that everybody's going to be pissed off if you do the upgrades to HID headlights, because they're going to think you have your brights on all the time. And that's true. When I see those headlights, it does look like they have their brights on. And B, when one goes out, it costs like $80 to replace it. So we're not going to do the headlights, because that was like, I don't know, $300 for that. We absolutely are doing the black finish grill. They had another name for it. It's like crown, I think they call it. It's the grill. We're doing a black finish grill, whereas our current truck has the kind of the chrome finish look, and that's like $500. So it's not super cheap to get that black finish grill, crown, whatever you want to call it. But this is going to be our first. This is our truck. This is our truck. You know, we want it to be our truck. So we're doing like keyless entry, black finish grill. There's like a couple more things that ended up not. I don't want to do disc brakes either. And the thing is, the reason it's like $1,300, and now that I've driven to Pete so much, like the brakes are fine. I have no complaints about the brakes. It may not be the case in a year or two, but you know, again, it's my truck, so I can decide to do something different with it later. So it's just a lot of their stuff's really expensive. I already have the step box, so I'll just move that from my current truck to the new truck. I already have a step box. That was like $750. I already had that. Mine's almost brand new. We already have the Peterbilt refrigerator, which was like $700. So we can switch that between our current truck and the new truck. And I really like that refrigerator. At first I was peeved. I was like, $700, you know? But it is a really nice refrigerator, and it actually is bigger than you think it is. If you just go into the store at Prime and you look at that refrigerator, you think, oh my God, this is not really bigger than the small dorm refrigerator you get at Walmart. It's actually bigger. It's deeper from front to back. So we can actually put quite a bit of stuff in there. The freezer is not very big. That's the downside of it, but it's a good refrigerator. It's good and steady. There's sturdy. There's no rattles or anything. Does a really good job of keeping everything cold and frozen. So it's happening with the old. Well, let me finish. So keyless entry, the grill. And I really think that's about it. There was like one other small thing. So we'll end up only having like $700 in upgrades to pay for with the truck, which those we have to pay for out of pocket. And then we have a part of the deposit that we have to make. So, but anyway, we're going to be ordering that same color, same truck, except that it will be a 2022. Our color is gunmetal gray. And then just a couple little upgrades on it. So very, very excited about that. Got Gosh, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, good. So what's happening with the old truck? Well, I actually got permission to keep the old truck on as a regular lease, which, as I understand it, is pretty rare. I don't think that they normally do that. I don't think they normally let you run both. Someone told me a couple weeks ago that they don't let you do both typically. But I don't think we're going to. Because the plan is, and it's a big piece to chew off. But I started an emergency fund with Prime about a month ago, which we have our own, for Jen and I, we are our emergency fund. We have our own emergency fund. But I did start one with Prime a month ago and just start dumping a huge amount per mile to start paying for the cost of the truck, deposit and extras and all that stuff. So basically we're turning in that truck when we get the new truck, and then we're going to order a brand new Freightliner. So our brand new Freightliner is going to be our second truck, because, I mean, the Peterbilt is not a good economic. The Peterbilt is not, like, if you want a company driver in a truck that is, helping you make the payments for that truck, paying for the truck, you don't want them running the kind of fuel mileage that I get on a Peterbilt. You want Freightliner fuel mileage. So that's the plan. That's plan is to have our, like I said in a video right before we got home, the plan is to have our first truck that we're buying in 2021, and at the very least have our second truck ordered during 2021. Ideally, I'd like to have them both in 2021. I just don't know. It's a big investment to pay deposits on 2 trucks. So I don't know if that's, I want to be cautiously optimistic. I don't want to be recklessly optimistic. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm, 100% confident that we'll be able to order for and pay for 2 new trucks in time to get them both in 2021. I would like for that to happen. I don't know that that's going to happen. So, but I do want to go ahead. I do want to order the second truck next year as soon as we can. And that second truck is going to be a Freightliner, pretty similar in color. We have a new design logo that fits on our current truck. We have like a steampunk theme on our current truck, which I love. We have a new logo design for driver lineup that's in that steampunk theme that we're putting on the new truck/trucks. So there'll be driver lineup trucks. That's the brand that they'll be under. So yeah, we are turning in the current truck. And, we've only had that truck for like 5 months. So the loss in the completion bonus is minimal. It's not a crazy loss. I said if you're leasing, you have to stay leased. If you want to start a fleet and it's a lease purchase, all the trucks in your fleet has to be lease purchase. Yeah, So there was an exception made, and I was super excited about it because they made the exception in this case for me, and then I decided that I'm going to turn it in after all. So yeah. So unless there's some sort of exception like that made for you, you can't have a standard lease and a lease purchase going at the same time. So. But honestly, I just don't think that I would. I mean, this is going to be razor thin margins in some cases. And I'm being, like I said, when I first talked about building, because it is our intention to build our own fleet, a driver lineup fleet at Prime. And I'm trying to be I'm trying to look before I leap at every step of the way. I'm not doing anything stupid. I feel like I've got a good plan. I've talked to multiple fleet owners at Prime and many other people that are in the beginning stages of doing the same thing. I think I have a good, not steal from Ross, but I have a good logical plan that's unfolding. And having a company driver run a Peterbilt is not a good, is not, it doesn't make sense. Now, just a word of caution, if you're thinking about doing this, or something similar, be very, very careful with thinking that you're going to make a ton of money off that second truck, like in real time along the path. Just be very careful with that. I don't expect to make money as we go along from that truck. If we do make a little money here and there, that's amazing. All I expect is to get that second truck paid for. Yeah, it is your catchphrase. So yeah, that's my only expectation, is to get that second truck paid for. And one of the ways to ensure that that my company driver that's driving that truck is making sense for me is to make sure that it's not a Peterbilt. To make sure that it's the most, fuel economically viable truck possible, and that's a Freightliner by far. And I also don't want it to be a team truck because while the revenue's there, and I've had some talk to me about that as well, while the revenue's there, I don't want a truck with 500,000, 600,000 miles on it by the time that I've got it paid off. You know what I mean? Like, I just want a good partner in that truck, company driver. I've got some ideas on how I'm going to incentivize them to run the truck well and profitably for me. And I want a truck driver who's going to run it in a manner that makes sure that truck is paid for. So yeah, so we're turning in the current truck, ordering our first Peterbilt truck. That's our Christmas present to each other. Although I am gonna get Jenna a little something else for Christmas, but that's a big piece. Buying a truck together. That's what we're doing for Christmas. So we'll get that order placed here in a week or two, and then go from there. Will your new driver automatically get your fleet manager? In some cases they do. In some cases they don't, but they do get a lease fleet manager. If I train that driver, or if that driver's trained by someone in my fleet manager's fleet, they would definitely stay with my fleet manager. But the company driver definitely gets a lease fleet manager, and the truck is run like a lease truck. So, and I would have my truck with lease specs. So it'd be a 65 mile per hour truck, and it would not be forced dispatch. I would be very involved in the kinds of loads that truck is running. So, that's a big advantage for a company driver who's running my second truck, is that they're going to get a lot of lease benefits, but they'd be a company driver and they'd have the company benefits as well. And I've heard some people say, no, don't let them drive 65. Look, man, my Freightliner got amazing fuel mileage at 65. Amazing. I think I was like always at 10 miles per gallon almost, always. Didn't matter if I was doing 65, 60, it didn't matter. Just always getting amazing fuel mileage. How much would I pay a company driver CPM wise? That I don't know, but it would be comparable to what Prime pays. It wouldn't be less than what Prime pays. The financial advantage is that I'm going to do a profit sharing model. So at the end of the month, when all of my costs are out, that includes paying the driver, all my fixed costs, variable costs, everything's out at the end of the month. If there's anything left over, which again, I don't have any huge expectation that there's going to be. If there is, it's great. But I'm not operating this under the assumption there will be. But if there's profit at the end of that month, meaning if that driver really runs a good truck, then there'll be some profit share at the end of the month. That's kind of the model that I'm working on building. So you would be incentivized to make a little bit more than you can make with just running a standard prime company truck, and you'd have a brand new leased truck instead of getting something shitty in the prime company yard. Are you finding and training your own driver? Maybe. If Jenna's not driving, then yes. If not, we talk to a lot of drivers. We talk to a lot of new drivers coming in. We have drivers that are interested in doing this with us. So it wouldn't be like me going on YouTube and saying, hey, the first person that responds, you can drive my truck. No. It would be someone that that really understands what we're trying to do, and can help us work towards that goal, and that we can understand what would make this good for them and help them work towards their goals as a company driver, with the understanding that, we don't want to be going back to Springfield every 2 or 3 weeks to switch company drivers in our truck. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's a problem if you go with just the shotgun approach and just the first taker. Well, they may leave prime a month later, then you got to go deal with that. Jeff S. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's another advantage of someone running my truck, is that if they did run the truck really good and profitably, then they could take more home time. It's not like a company driver, which, as I understand, I have to be careful now because of what Kiersey did on whatever that show was the other night. So I don't want to get into that, but I'm going to be very careful moving forward and not commenting about company driving on things that I don't know, because I've never been a company driver. But I believe I remember company drivers can only go home for like 3 or 4 days a month. And if you try to go home for longer than that, sometimes they may be like, hey, we're going to put somebody else in your truck. There'll be a lot more flexibility with that on my truck. Oh yeah, who'd I miss? What's up, Trucker John? Sean Jennings, Toys for Twats. What kind of toys are you getting? Never mind. John St. Clair, I don't know if I gave you a nod, but thanks for dropping in, you guys. Not doing anything big here. I just want to talk about how I just wanted to update everybody that we are placing the order for our truck here in a week or two. So that's kind of what we're viewing as our Christmas present to each other. Assuming you're preferring a driver who lives near Springfield. No, not necessarily at all. Not at all. Sean, in answer to your question, not at all. It's not so much on where the driver lives. It's the mindset of the driver, and having like a mutual understanding. We just want someone to understand what I'm trying to do with my business. And then I definitely want to try and understand what this company driver in my second truck wants to accomplish too, and what their goals are, and make a very symbiotic partnership. So I think it's more the mindset of the driver that's very important to me, and the goals of the driver. And are they a safe driver? Are they just somebody that's just looking, like if there's somebody just looking for a job, just job hopping? Obviously, that's not someone I want running my truck. I want someone who's going to care for my truck, and just, have some respect for my truck and treat it like it's their home, of course, while on the road. But there's a lot of variables there that are more important to me than where that driver's from. Because again, I think if I'm willing to share some of the profit from that truck, if there's profit from that truck, based on how well they run the truck, then it is kind of a business partnership, even though they're a company driver, it is kind of a business partnership. And I think that, like I said, we already know a couple drivers we've talked to. One or two of them, it's too late because they're already going through and getting ready to upgrade. So it may be too late for them. But we've talked to a couple drivers that would love to have running my second truck. So I think the right person will come along, at the right time. Since the truck is run as a lease truck, does that mean the driver can take more than 3 or 4 days off? Yeah, so I kind of answered that. Truck with me, there would be absolutely a lot more flexibility on that front. A lot more flexibility. So I think if they're, again, getting back to that mutual understanding, if you're like, look, bro, or if it was a girl, I'd probably say, look, dude. I say dude to Jenna. So you're like, look, dude, whether it's a guy or a girl, look, dude, you make my payments for the month and put a little money in both of our pockets. If you can do that in 4 or 5 weeks, then go take a full 7 or 8 days off. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I have on paper, but I'm just saying, just as an idea of how that could function, be that kind of a thing. John St. Clair, yeah, no worries, man. He's gonna TC Gone Trucking, what's up? Hello. Another Peterbilt ordering, just joined the chat a few minutes ago. Rhett, yes, first of all, welcome to the chat. Yes, we're ordering our new 2022 Peterbilt here in the next week or two, and then hopefully next year, ideally around the same time that we get this truck, place an order for our Freightliner. So really kind of, this has so many pieces, moving pieces and things that have to work right and things that have to go well. But we want to run our Peterbilt until that truck is paid off. And in the process of that, 3 to 4 year period, be able to bring 2 Freightliners in for our second and third truck, so that by the time that our Peterbilt is paid off, we have 3 trucks running in our little fleet. That's kind of our 30,000 foot view. No, I do not want to run 20 trucks. I don't have any grand vision of running some super big fleet. I'm not like Chocolate Covered Trucking up there in Denver. That dude's got so many trucks. It's already enough to run 1 truck. You can talk about running 2 or 3 trucks. But that's kind of our timeline. We would like to have 3 trucks running by the time we have the Peterbilt paid off. 3 trucks, including our Peterbilt. 1 Peterbilt, 2 Freightliners. Gary or Jerry Willis, not sure which one that is. Welcome to chat. Will you be responsible for the company drivers' insurance benefits? Yes, you are. You are responsible. As the lease driver, well, the way that works, if you're a company driver or you're not a lease driver, then you don't kind of see what we see as a lease driver. So Jenna, because we're a team truck, she's basically leased to me from Prime. Prime kind of leases her to me. And I pay for everything. I pay her workman's comp. I subsidize her healthcare plan, which, the benefits benefit both of us. So that's great. But I subsidize. Prime says, oh, you're going to pay. We're going to help you. We're going to make this insurance cheaper for you. Well, when you're on a lease truck, it's the lease driver who's paying that insurance. So I pay all of her deadhead miles. Yes, I would have to pay all of that. Of course, the company driver also contributes to that, to those benefits as well. So it's not like I'm on the hook for the whole thing. But yeah, as the lease truck, I'm paying for I'm paying the payroll taxes. All that stuff comes out of my settlement, comes off my truck. Excuse me. Yes, see, Jenna says, I call her dude. So if we had a female driver running our second truck, I would call her dude too. Dude. Dan Flag, Eric, consider working training someone who wants to be a lease purchase operator, but just don't have the financial reserve to start it now. Coach them up to be successful. Yeah, maybe. I just don't know that I want to hire or put a company driver in my truck who's going to jump to lease after 2 or 3 months. Not to say that I would be pissed about that, but like I really want somebody who could drive my truck for a year at least, And I want to make it, again, I want to incentivize it so that it would be better to drive my truck than to just go drive some company truck for Prime, even though they would still be a Prime employee. My objective is to make it a little tastier to drive my second truck as a company driver than to drive a company truck for Prime. All right, man. Good luck to you and your wife and your journey. Starting your fleet, I have the same plans, and we're kind of starting out on the fleet journey around the same time. Keep following you. Nice truck with me, man. It's not going to be an easy journey. I'm under no illusion that this is going to be an easy journey. I think it's going to be very difficult. I think it's full of risk, but without taking risks, there's no reward, Right. Once you order a truck with Prime, is it always acceptable, even if it becomes 10 years old, or they make you get rid of it after a certain year or mileage? That I don't know. I've seen some old trucks rolling around there. I don't know if I've seen a 10-year-old truck. Maybe. I know I've seen 5 or 6-year-old trucks rolling around there. So I don't know. I don't know what the limits are on that. I can tell you, I don't want to be driving a truck in 10 years. Right. You said that you saw something that if you bring a truck outside of Prime to Prime, it has to be a fairly newer truck. I don't think you bring like a 6 or 7-year-old truck to Prime. But if you bought your truck through Prime, then it's a little bit different. Yeah, so there you go. 2013 truck still running through Prime lease purchase, or that he got through that. Yeah. If you buy your truck through Prime, I don't think they're going to boot your truck off the fleet just because it's a little bit older. I really don't. Like I said, I've seen older trucks. I don't know if I've seen 10 or 12-year-old trucks, but I've seen old trucks floating around the terminal. That would be a better situation for a company driver to run with you, JJ Hammer Down. I think so. I hope so. I mean, the way I've looked at it is if I was coming through the program and I was going to be a company driver, and I was very serious about my career with Prime, I want a good situation. I want a situation that maybe let me take a couple extra days off when I go home, and it might help me make a few extra bucks in bonus every month if I ran a little harder. And I got a brand new truck that already had all the stuff on it that I wanted and needed. And I got paid the same or better than just driving a Prime company truck. I think it would be a good situation. That's the way I've had to look at it, is if that were me, what would make it something that I'd want to do? And there's really no disadvantages to doing it as a company driver, because you still work for Prime, you Still drive for Prime. It's still Prime truck. Still hauling Prime freight. You just get to run a truck that's basically a lease truck. This company driver truck have your fleet manager 10 count. Someone asked that earlier. I don't know. As it was explained to me, and someone at Success Leasing told me, but she kind of didn't know for sure. But she said she thinks that if you're on a company fleet, you get moved to a lease fleet. She did not know if you get moved to my fleet, to my fleet manager. I can tell you, my fleet manager is very highly desirable at Prime, and there's a waiting list of like 10 drivers trying to get on his fleet. So I don't know if I got a second truck, if that truck gets automatically assigned to his fleet. I don't know. I wish, I would hope. I would hope, because I know that my fleet manager is going to make that truck money. I know that for a fact. Saying hi from Loves in Tennessee on a 30-minute break. What's up, Bearded Fat Man? Man, I remember those 30-minute breaks when I was in TNT. I became expert level 10 20-minute shower taker. When I was in TNT, I didn't want to be a problem for my trainer. I didn't want to be like, hey, man, can we stop for a shower? I busted out my showers on 30-minute breaks when I was in TNT. Like every other day. I would have my clothes pre-packed in my backpack so I didn't have to go there and try to wake him up or anything. When we switched shifts, I'd bring my backpack with all my shower stuff, my clothes, put it up in the front with me, and then a 30-minute break, I'd bust out my shower. He would never even know it. He would just wake up smelling cologne and soap. He wouldn't even know that I got out of the truck and went shower. Where's everyone at? I'm sitting in Laredo, Texas. Laredo, are you down there at the yard, Trucker John? Laredo, Texas, I haven't been down there in a while. Speaking of the Laredo yard, showered there, and it's nice hot water, but man, those showers feel like a freaking dungeon. 10 count. Can a company driver with your second truck become a trainer and get the extra 10 cents for training? I haven't thought that out, man. I haven't thought that out. I mean, like I said earlier, I get a little concerned about the heavy miles that go on a truck if it's run as a team truck. So, you know, on one hand, you got the revenue. So there's the revenue, obviously, if it's a team truck, if it's a training truck, revenue obviously is going to go way up. But so are the miles on the truck, the wear and tear, the beating, the miles on a truck. That truck is probably going to be running coast to coast, California. So it's going to be going over, you know, Flagstaff, Albuquerque, the Arizona-California border, all those rough roads. It's probably going to do a lot of Wyoming. You know, so you gotta, I don't know, I haven't really jotted down like what I would how hard I would want the truck to run, you know. There's a lot of pluses and minuses, a lot of pros and cons, and I just haven't really, I think for the trainer, if we let our company driver on our second truck train, I think instead of doing the 10 cents per mile, we'd do the same thing. We'd do the profit sharing. So at the end of the month, you know, maybe I don't have an exact figure, but if let's say it was 10 or 20%, you know, or whatever that, I'm just spitballing here. Let's say that I told the driver, hey, if you run my second truck for me as a company driver, you're going to get what Prime pays. Plus at the end of the month, if the profits, you know, $2,500, which I doubt it would be. Again, I just want the truck to be made, truck payment to be made. But if it was, and maybe it can be. I had one small fleet, guy who runs a small fleet. He said at worst, your truck is going to get paid for as long as you have a driver in there and they're running. And at best, you're going to make between $2,000 and $2,500 a month. To me, that's amazing. But he was saying it as if that's not very much. You know, he's like, you're not going to make buku money off that truck. To me, it was like, holy shit, dude. If that truck was making me $500 a week after all the cost, I'd be jumping for joy. But anyway, if I went to that driver and said, hey, you know, if you run this truck really well for this month, and if it profits $2,500, give you $500, you know, or whatever that figure is. I don't have that exact figure. I'm just saying that's probably the kind of model that I'd look at. And it would be the same for teaming on the truck. I wouldn't change that number. So obviously, if you're training a student in my second truck, and you're the trainer and you're a company driver, well, that revenue is obviously going to go way up because you're running twice as many miles, right? So the incentive, the financial incentive, would go way up too. Did you just luck out getting your fleet manager, Rhett? Yeah, I did. I'm very fortunate to have the fleet manager I have, and he was my TNT trainer's fleet manager. He's been at Prime for 14 years. His name is Chris Martin, and dude is freaking incredible. We know like 6 or 7 other other drivers that are on his fleet. 2 of them are on driverlineup.com. One of them is Michelle. She helps us run driverlineup.com. She's on his fleet. And every truck that we know on his fleet makes very good money, and has 0 complaints about Chris. Like I said the other day, you could have a problem, you know, a 5-alarm fire or a 1-alarm fire, and you could go to him and say, Chris, this is not a very big deal at all. I know you're busy. You know, if you deal with this tomorrow or something, here's something I could use your help on. And he'll do it in like 3 minutes. It doesn't matter if it's like the most complex, difficult problem that you could possibly have. He gets it done in like 3 minutes. Or if it's something it's totally irrelevant and you tell him, hey, don't worry about this until tomorrow or the next day, he still gets it done in 3 minutes and he never forgets. I don't know how he does it because he's got 90 trucks on his fleet. So, but yeah, so when you come to Prime, if you're the fleet manager of your trainer is going to be your fleet manager, unless your fleet manager's unless your trainer is a company driver and you go lease, then your trainer's fleet manager is a company fleet manager. So they have to move you to a lease fleet, or if it's the other way around, if you're going company and your trainer's lease, you're going to have to be put on a company fleet. Let's see, Indiana. Don't forget your dude wipes. Yes, we have lots of wipes. We were at dinner with Do It All the other night, talking about how, you know, sometimes you just get in a jam on those showers. Now, it obviously doesn't work as well if you're in a trainer's truck, but on our truck, or Do It All, he said his truck, warm a bowl of water, man, and you just give yourself a bath right there in the truck. Warm a bowl of water in the microwave, and wipes work too, but occasionally, you know, wipes can only go so far, man. You get to a point after a few days, especially in summer, where you just have to wash. Like, wipes just won't. Wipes will make you not smell, but you got to feel clean, you know? Jeff R. What's up, Jeff R? And Jeff S. We got a lot of Jeffs tonight. Jeff R. at Salt Lake City jail for me, aka Ramada, patiently waiting to get to actually do my evaluation so I can move up to TNT. Would you ever want to have a company team situation on one of your fleet trucks? Didn't know if there would be any advantage to it or too many expenses. Jeff S. That I kind of addressed that earlier. I don't know yet because I need to get with someone who when you talk to someone else who's running a fleet, you try to have as many questions in front of you as possible, and there's always going to be one you leave out. And that's one I haven't been able to ask yet is, is it worth it to let the truck be run that hard? Again, to get back to that scale, to where by the time that truck is paid off and it's got 500,000 miles on it because it ran his team the whole time, or was the money just worth it? Because the way I'm kind of thinking about it is that we're trying to keep these trucks in really good shape and have a company driver run them just to pay for the truck for us. And if it makes extra money, that's a big bonus. I'm not going into it thinking, how can I make as much money as possible while the truck's being paid? I'm not that optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. But my goal is just to get the truck paid for. If the truck is paid for, I'm very happy. And that takes minimal revenue. So I don't know yet if I'd want my second and third truck to run as team. Those are answers that I don't have clarity on yet, or questions that I don't have clarity on yet. Would you ever want, let's see, no sitting at a truck stop, but Johnson's like, but the food place 1 or 2 blocks away at the washouts, dive for in Laredo. Yeah. I ate a taco truck, not the greatest. There was a taco truck in Laredo that wasn't very good. Holy crap. You better tell David H. that. Make sure that he doesn't go to that taco truck. 10 count, maybe allow 2 trainees a year. Yeah, maybe something like that. I don't know. I've got at least 6 months to figure out how I want the second truck run because, actually at least a year. Because in a perfect scenario, we would get our Peterbilt, which would be our truck, 6 months from now, and then immediately order the Freightliner, our second truck, and would not get it for another 6 months. So I still have a year to figure this out. It's not like I've got 3 months to try to have all these answers. This is more like a taco trailer. Let me hear in this deal, LOL. Trucker John, yeah, it would be one of the okayest deals I think you'll find. It would be like next level okay, I think. That's the idea. John, hopefully TNT teaches what all the crappy food places to avoid as well, how to drive a truck. Well, how you learn the crappy places versus the good places is the time spent in the bathroom. We had someone, Bearded Fat Man just did a video the other day about that. Go to Bearded Fat Man's channel and watch his one of his recent videos about eating something at a certain time of day that you shouldn't, and the results of that, which are not fun. I've gone through that myself. In fact, side story. Well, some of you know I have a poop video a while back, a couple months ago on my channel. It's pretty descriptive. But one time I had a situation like that where, usually the vast majority of the time, I don't have that kind of situation on the road, and we eat our Kachava smoothies and stuff. So I do fiber and stuff like that. So vast majority of the time, I don't have that kind of a problem. But earlier this year, was it this year? Yeah, I think it was this last winter. So I think it was like January, February. I ate something. I don't know what I ate, but man, came knocking on the door in that part of Missouri up 29, way north of St. Joseph. So there's like this gap between St. Joseph and where you get off to go south of Omaha, where there's like a TA and a pilot, all that stuff flooded. It was all flooded like in 2019. All that TA and everything up there on 29 was all underwater. It was bizarre. Anyway, it was north of St. Joseph, and it came knocking, and it was like, dude, pull this freaking truck over because it's gonna happen right now. Like, I mean, right now, it's gonna happen. You know, and that's only happened to me a couple times in my life, but that was one of those times where it was like it was gonna happen right now. So I had to go bang on a door at a DOT way station because there was no other option, you know. Jeff S. Yeah, and that's one of the, you know, there's lots of things. I mean, watch all these channels. The great thing is everybody's on their own path. Johnson's Logic's on, you know, he's on his own path. Do It All is on his own path. Million Mile Man, his own path. You know, everybody's got a unique path to them. Path from where they came from, what they're doing before, what their objectives are now, what their objectives are moving forward. And Prime provides an opportunity for all that. It's not just a one size fits all, you know. The opportunities at Prime are wide ranging, and you can really do a lot of cool things with Prime. You can just drive for the rest of your career if you want, you know. There's nothing wrong with that either. But if you want to do different things and explore and build different types of business, you know, Prime gives you that opportunity. I love that. I love that. Always check for toilet paper. Yeah. Jen always gets nervous when I tell a poop story. No more Denny's hot wings. Yeah, exactly. Actually, Denny's, I don't want to bash on Denny's, but Denny's it's one of those where you never know. You never know. You never know if that could go sideways. Rick and howdy, man. I'm about to get out of here with 57 minutes. John St. Clair, you're enjoying the Kachava. Really? That's awesome. Ninja Blender would find a permanent place on the truck. So you tried the Kachava. Did you try both flavors, the chocolate and the vanilla? We love it. Love this stuff. And have you tried it the way that I mentioned it in my video, which is blend a couple strawberries in there, and then blend Soylent with it. It's like a real milkshake. I love it that way. Jenna does hers with almond milk. But yeah, we love those Kachava shakes, man, and they are so healthy. I mean, it's like just pure natural nutrition. It's so good. Portable toilet. Yeah, but I have Jenna and a dog on the truck. Take a poop on the catwalk. You know, look, I'm not one that likes to pee in parking lots and places like that. I've seen a lot of drivers do that stuff. But one of the things that I was mad about when I got my step box is it did remove my emergency bathroom from the back of the cab. You guys know what I'm talking about. You pull off on a shoulder somewhere because you just got to go. Well, now I can't stand between the drive tire and the cab because of the step box. First world problems. Can you imagine the look on people's face when they pass the catwalk? Jeff S., the exact same problem with Denny's, man. A lot of people have that problem with Denny's. I don't know what ingredient they use. There's something they use where your guts could start singing, you know, like an hour after you leave a Denny's. Strawberries all the time with almond or coconut milk. So you do the frozen strawberries. Yeah, frozen. Just a couple frozen strawberries in there is just enough to give it that milkshake consistency. I love it. If you guys have not tried Ka'Chava, if you're looking for something really healthy on the road that's giving you, it's not necessarily a diet thing, but it's giving you all the good nutrition that you need. Check out Ka'Chava. It's really, really good stuff. Could you mount a bike rack on the back of a semi? I've seen a lot of people do it. I've seen Prime trucks with bikes back there, but I don't know that I'm that trusting with it. We also have seen a trailer crunching a bicycle that was, someone had it, pinned up where it should be, but as they were turning out of a truck stop, it came down and they didn't even know it. So the trailer was just crunching it back there. The Denny's uses cheap fake grease. Well, there you go. Toys for Tots. That's going to be the comment to end this one on. My biggest issue with a trainer is he made me drive shirtless. Oh, man. That is too funny. Jeff asks, yes, I would definitely make those things available to company driver. Oh, man, you guys are hilarious. Well, I'm over an hour, so I'm going to get going. Like I said earlier, we are about to get on the road probably Tuesday morning. So we got two more days at home. It's been wonderful having a week off, especially because we're not going to be back home until January 8th. So this is going to be a long run, a lot of rest area videos coming. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. As always, I really appreciate you guys. We had like 35 on here live. Before we go, if you could hit that like button really quick, super easy. Just hit that on your phone. I am noticing that the live videos that I do that have 20 or 30 likes, by the time they finish processing, seem to get a lot more people watching them. So if you guys could help out with that, that'd be really cool. I don't think that's the only reason. I think it certainly doesn't hurt if you like it. Don't just do it because you like me. Do it because you actually like it. Dustin Anderson, did I see you earlier say something? Anyway, thanks for joining the chat. All right, guys, be safe. Make good decisions. As always, drive to thrive. We will talk with you soon.